To deploy the first node of your Bitfusion cluster, right-click on the cluster where you want to deploy it and select Deploy OVF template. On this screen, choose Local File and then click on Upload Files. Select the Bitfusion Server OVA, hit Open, and then click Next. Here you will specify the virtual machine name and a folder where you want to store it under the data center. And then click Next. Then you select this host where you want to put the VM that you're creating. Click Next on the screen. Select the storage where you want to store the virtual machine. You can also change the provisioning for the disks from thick to thin if you need. Select the network where you want the VM to connect. Now this is an important screen. Here you have to give the VApp options for customization of this app. Make sure to provide the host name as per the IP address and the DNS information of the IP that you're using for this appliance. The vCenter GUID is the number in the URL. I'll highlight that for you. This number is the vCenter GUID. Copy it from here and paste it here. The vCenter URL is the URL where you want the Bitfusion plugin to be registered. Now you specify the credentials with which this plugin will connect to the vCenter server for registering the plugin. The next is the SSL thumbprint of the vCenter server certificate. You can go to the details of the certificate by clicking on the lock in the URL and selecting thumbprint. Now this thumbprint is all lowercase. You need to make sure that it is capitalized and a colon is put in place of space before you put into the VApp options. You can use Notepad++ for doing this. Here I changed the text to uppercase. Now I'm changing the space to colon. Now you can copy this number and paste it in the VApp options. Next is the customer password. This is the password with which you will access the Bitfusion server node. Next is the NVIDIA driver option. If your appliance has an internet connectivity, you can check it. Otherwise, leave it unchecked. If in case you do check it, your appliance will have SSH disabled by default, and you provide in the IP address information for the network adapter 1. This is your management network, and this can also be used as GPU network, but you do have an option of splitting these networks. This is a space separated value. If in case you want to specify more than one DNS server, you need to specify it using a space, not by comma. Same is the case for NTP server. If in case you choose to add the network information for network adapter 2, 3 or 4, you need to add the corresponding network adapter before powering on the VM. So this is all the configuration we need to do. We can hit next to start the deployment. You can review the settings on this page and then click on finish. The OVA is now deploying.